Hey everybody, Michelle is here. Want to take a break and sit down and talk a little bit about what's happening so far in my life and the progress that I'm making, which is fantastic. So as I've said, I'm in the process of selling my house, and I'm going to be traveling towards the West Coast. And where I end up, who knows, right? Anyway, so I'm enjoying the journey, but my focus is on the destination and on the destiny. Okay, so let's just make that very clear. You can enjoy the journey, but like I said, a lot of people stay in the journey for decades on top of decades, top of decades, top of decades, and they never get out of the journey and never make it to their destination or even make it to their destiny. Okay, now, and that could be materialistically, and that can also be spiritually. People are constantly in the journey, meaning they're just studying and studying and studying, but not applying experiences to their studying. You have to do that. You have to have experiences, and you need failure just as much as you need success. And so I know a lot of people attempt to leapfrog over the failures and only want the success, and that's illogical, actually. And you'll find that out the hard way, because I remember during my experiences, well, let's back up. Thankfully, I had built up enough reserves. And what do I mean by that? I built up enough reserves with my meditation and building up my consciousness, developing my consciousness, my psyche, whatever you want to call it, to prepare me, okay, to prepare me for whatever type of experiences I was going to experience. And so that I can be neutralized in how I handle it. I didn't go too extreme. I didn't go, fanatical. And usually going extreme is with the emotions and the feelings and our reaction and how we're reacting and blah, blah, blah. We're just out of control. And we go, and the main thing, we just attempt to overcorrect it, instead of just kind of flowing through neutrally and just staying grounded and saying, okay, where am I right now? How am I doing right now? What's going on with my thoughts? You have to do those kind of, it's like oh gosh, there's some words to it, but I don't want people to be so focused on words. Just do the behavior as you feel comfortable in doing the behavior, because we get caught up in words and definitions, and you always will get these intellectual talking heads who will come in and always attempt to define words and turn them into debates, okay, making them and taking you off of the main focus, because they want to debate, what love is, what consciousness is, what thinking is. You're going to have a lot of intellectuals doing that. And that's what they do all day long on their computers. Sit around listening to everyone's conversations instead of going outside and mowing their own lawns or taking care of their community or washing their own dishes or something. They're going to be sitting at their computers looking for so-called mistakes in how people are disseminating, or how people are teaching, or how people are relaying information. Okay, it's all just information. And again, it's free will. But, a lot of people don't pick that up. They just think, okay, I need to come in here and correct this person on what consciousness means. I need to come in here and correct this person on what love means, instead of going out and loving people and going out and using your consciousness, or going out and meditation, behavior things. Be in the behavior of what needs to be done. Be in the actions of what needs to be done, instead of being an intellectual talking head. Okay, in other words, go out there and get some experience. But a lot of people don't want to do that. They love sitting in their air-conditioned homes, or wherever they're sitting, in their dark caves, on the ground, in a corner somewhere. Who knows? Anyway, I can remember, like I said, I built up myself to have enough reserves, enough strength and confidence to handle what was coming my way, because sometimes you just don't know. And again, it happened with I think it was around I can't remember what year, but it always happens when something's going on, like a storm, or a state of emergency, when things start kicking up. When something kicks up, and then you're going to have to rely on your reserves. rely on your experiences to get through things. And thankfully, I had that instead of panicking and not knowing what to do. That's why I say you need to know what to do. You need to have some experience other than just being a talking head intellectual. But that is going to be on the individual. Okay. But I remember, as I said, it's like when there's a storm or something going on unexpectedly, that's when things ought to kick up. Your experience kicks up and say, okay, instead of panicking about this, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? And so, and thankfully, like I said, I built myself up enough to know that I kind of flowed through stuff. Yeah, it was some challenging moments. Okay, almost moments of homelessness, almost moments of running out of money, and blah blah blah. And not having a job, blah blah blah. And so things do line up. Trust me. I mean, I am living proof of that. Okay, I'm walking the talking. I get the results. I have the results. But you don't need to be so concerned about me per se. All I'm saying is put in the work. Okay, don't avoid these hard, difficult situations. Okay, you need to be moving. If you need to move based on your instinct and how you're feeling, move. Okay, because it's all about your energy anyway. Okay, be in the energy of somewhere where you feel safe for the most part, and you can be around like-mindedness, where you will have the necessary support you need unexpectedly, and sometimes from strangers, because that's what happened. When I was in the midst of a storm, I said I was going to head to West Coast, but there was a storm coming through. I decided to go, another direction. And once I got into that direction, a storm came through there as well. Okay, but if it wasn't for the kindness of people, I don't know what I would have done. People just were kind to me. They were kind to others as well. And I got through it. I got through it. And I was like, whoa. And before I knew it, because like I said, I thought I was on the brink of homelessness. Before I knew it, I'm in a nice home, gathering myself, building myself up more and more and more. And then I decided to take another risk. And, I didn't stop where I was. In other words, I didn't get comfortable and get complacent, even though it was a great environment where I was. I still needed to keep it moving. So I got into a situation where, okay, there was some financial issues where I couldn't afford the material things that I was used to. Okay, even though I was making great money in the job I had, that's just financial irresponsibility that comes along as well. All kind of experiences you need to know how to handle a situation. I'm telling you, especially you 30-year-olds and under, don't avoid the experiences. You're gonna oh man. Okay, I'm just saying. So I can remember one day, and the point is that your consciousness, or whatever you call your innermost self, is not going to allow you to put on more than you can handle, or take on more than you can handle. Okay, remember your innermost self, or your innermost self, your internal self, or your instincts, or whatever you want to call it. It's something that you're operating within yourself, that you cultivated inside of yourself and develop yourself from. It's not going to let you take on more than you can handle, no matter how much you pray about it. Okay, I'm just being really honest. Or even however, even if you visualize, even though visualization is powerful and does get the results, but your consciousness, you're not going to be able to take on more than you can handle. Okay, so you still have to develop yourself, even though you're visualizing. Okay, that's my point. I have been visualizing well before certain things started happening to me. Okay, I had to get through those storms, get through those problems before. Now I'm at a point to where, okay, I can see clearly now. Okay, but prior to that, okay, there were some storms coming through. Okay, I was meeting these wrong kind of people. I was financially struggling. I always managed to get jobs. That's one thing I get that from my dad. I know how to do a lot of things, and that's important. I can do a whole lot of stuff, so I can easily find a job. You know, and a lot of people rely on intellectualizing stuff when some of them, I mean, okay, that's where a lot of things are backfiring on these major corporations, these major companies, these major whatever they are, these pyramids, because they were relying on this materialism of, okay, this person has a BA, a MBA, a master's, a bachelor, and these people can barely wipe their ass. Okay, and that's being as clear and as effective as I can. Okay, now, in other words, they're wet behind the ears, and they're just going out there creating destruction and chaos because they're relying on their intellectual materialism. You know what kind of degree they have. You know what kind, you know, it's important to work. It's important to know what kind of experience these people have, and what's their mentality, what's their psyche like. What are they? How are they managing themselves? You know, their consciousness. How are they managing their behaviors and actions? Okay, and that's from experience. Okay, and you have to see the results. Okay, don't just rely on what the family is saying. Okay, go to the neighbors. You know, talk to the dogs and the cats to find out about a person. You know, don't rely so much on testing people too. It's going to have to be a revamped and a remastered way that we understand a human being and what it takes to be a genuine human being, and not be so focused on their college degrees, which is important, but know how the college train these people. Go to the colleges where some of these students are. Find out what their curriculum is. What are they studying? You know, what is their experience? Read their thesis. Okay, read their report. You know, do a little bit more than just testing these people. And these people is not anything derogatory. It's just a statement. Okay, so test and make sure you know test in other ways. Okay, you know, how are they dealing in their relationships with people? You know, blah blah blah. It's going to take revamping, remapping, and being extremely creative. Okay, if we're gonna solve a lot of major issues we're having, and get rid of some of this pyramid management, which is that is destroying the working class, that, you know, or the people that are carrying the load of what's going on on this planet. So I can remember going through a whole lot of difficult things, which is necessary as an adult. And I remember, you know, looking around, because I was heavily into. I was always heavily into something that spirituality, meditation, growth, holistic. I was always into that stuff, and I started to recognize what was bullshit. Okay, I had to be paying enough money out to know that a lot of it is just smoke and mirrors. But when your consciousness is ready for you to receive the truth, it'll be right there. And that's what happened to me. Just one day on the internet, listening to people talking, because I love that kind of stuff. And so that I can develop what they're saying to me and apply it. And a lot of it just was just shitting out of me, being honest. In other words, it wasn't sticking. It was waste. I was taking in a lot of waste and shit, you know, garbage in, garbage out. All right. But once I heard someone say something, boom, I knew right away that was the truth right there. And then that propelled me. And that means then that allowed my consciousness to say, okay, she's ready. And then that's when everything started happening, where I started to be elevating myself, elevating my consciousness, raising my vibration. So it's a stage. It's stages of development. And like I said, if I didn't have these experiences, I would have been panicking. And I would have been going extreme. And I would have missed my alignment. Right? I would have missed alignments and moments that meant something to me. That helped me to realize, okay, that was there's something there. You know, that face, there's something with that face. There's something with those eyes. There's something with that person's behavior. You know, it just was stuff that hit me and aligned me up. Like, okay, pay attention here. There's something, where I had to pay attention and say, okay, I'm paying attention to this. I'm paying attention to this person. I'm paying attention to that person. And I'm paying attention to this experience, that experience. So it just gets you so involved. I mean, and that's the journey. That's what I'm saying. That all of that is the journey. But at the same time, you have to get to a destination. Okay, you have to get to some results. You can't keep planning and planning and planning and being scared, whining and complaining like babies. And that's why I said we are loaded on this planet. More so, on this planet with people with unresolved masculine and feminine energy, where they're just going extreme in both cases. And it's not, and so people are scared all of a sudden, and panicking and bringing out these feelings of, not being safe, and all that's just being generated in their unconscious thoughts. They're projecting instead of worrying about what's going on inside. Maybe those thoughts are not yours. Maybe those fears are not your fears. They're somebody else's fears that you're picking up on the energy of. Relax and breathe. What are you fearful of? So we're going to have to be very direct with yourself. Okay, why are these people bothering me so much? Why do I have such a problem with women? Why do I have such a problem with men? Why do I have such a problem with the trans community? Why do I have such a problem with the alternative lifestyles? Okay, why do I have such a problem with poor people? So it's you. It is always you. It's not what's happening outside of you. You are creating whatever is happening outside of you. So you're responsible for your hatred towards women, your hatred towards men, your hatred towards transgender, your hatred towards this and that and the other. Black culture. You created your hatred towards black culture. Black culture did not create that for you. Or your hatred towards women, or your hatred towards trans, or gay, or even straight. Okay, that's generated from inside. Okay, and that's why you get the results you have. So if you're going on and on and on and on off about black people, white people, transgender, this and that and the other, well, that's because you created that. You created that narrative. And so now deal with it. Neutralize it if you want peace. Otherwise, you're going to just continue to have that kind of regurgitation, deja vu, that type of experience for the rest of your life. And so be it, and so it is. All right. So again, how you develop yourself is going to determine the type of situations that are going to come your way. Okay. Now, it can be paradise, it can be complete hell, it can be chaos, destruction. Everything is going to be based on how you programmed it. A lot of people like to say programmed. I say how you created it with your thoughts. And the more conscious you are and aware of where you are, where you're standing, your senses, your perception, you being very clear and defective about your perceptions, your realities, it's very important to do that kind of stuff and stay grounded. Okay, what surface am I walking on? How's my breathing? What am I hearing? What do I see? What do I feel? Are those my thoughts? Dismiss them. It's a constant working on yourself for the rest of your life and beyond. All right, so enjoy each other. That's all. Enjoy yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Know that you are creating everything that's bothering you. So figure out how to be creative about it and change it. If you're uncomfortable, you're making yourself uncomfortable. Okay, if you're getting sexually aroused at people you hate, that's you. And if you don't resolve it, you're going to be degenerating more than you are. Because a lot of it is sexual frustration, especially with men. Straight or more so the feminine straight ones that have not neutralized all that energy, feminine and masculine energy. You know, you're self-destructive, and you're getting angry. And you're blaming women. You're angry and blaming black people. You're angry and you're blaming trans people. That's you. That's the individual inside of the individual that's doing that. And all your consciousness, subconsciousness, whatever you want to name it, is attempting to do is tell you, resolve it, or I'm going to put more on you. Resolve it. So, I feel fantastic, magnificent, and wonderful. Even though I got a lot of work to do. But you know what? Before you know it, I'm going to be on the road traveling. And I am not going to be acting as though on the road traveling is glamorous. That ain't no glamour. I don't care what nobody says. It might be glamorous. I don't know. It's not glamorous. So don't believe the hype. But once I get to the destination, that's another exhale. And then I can get on with the other parts of my life that I've planned. So, and visualized. So enjoy the journey. All I'm saying, but don't stay in it. Okay, enjoy the moments. But remember that there's a destination awaiting. There's a destiny awaiting. So I'm going to go ahead and send peace and love out all over the universe, all over the stars, the moon, the mountain, to anyone can hear me. I send love to you, and I hope you share it and take it in as well. All right, so peace and love, and trust me, I'll be back.